Hello dear. Are you struggling to prepare for your PMP certification examination? Are you struggling to find the right materials to use to prepare you for the exam? Well, you've come to the right channel. My name is John. I want to help folks, those who are struggling with PMP certification exam prep. I'm a civil engineer and I recently passed my PMP exam, not on my first attempt though. I will tell you why. Do you plan to take the PMP exam? Well, if you plan to take the exam or you just want to brush up on how to prepare to help other people pass the exam, you are at the right place. Let me show you the easy way out. This is a simple yet often ignored, like I did, and pay the price for it. I don't want you to make my mistakes, so I would ask that you watch this presentation to the very end so you can pass the PMP exam for the first time. The purpose of this presentation is to help you avoid my mistakes so you can follow the easy way that I'm going to show you so you can pass the exam the very first time you try to pass the exam. You can pass the exam by following these simple steps that I wish I had followed from the onset. Most importantly, I want to share some of the stuff that I did which I feel did not help me until I discovered this easy way that I'm going to discuss with you today. The initial steps that I followed failed me. I began my project management journey with a boot camp in the spring of 2023. My goal then was to get a PMP certification as soon as possible. So after the in-class training, I kicked off my PMP prep. So I started to study publications from acclaimed authors and rigidly followed their prescription of exercises, which include end of chapter questions, memorizing the lexicon and jingle of project management, and doing all the simulation after simulation they recommended. The path was quite rugged and hard. I even played online flashcards and puzzles to help me remember the concepts. I even used some reference online materials which were poorly worded. With the vast volume of information out there, it was so difficult to identify a lead to follow. At this point, I was already overwhelmed by the volume of resource materials that PMI recommended for the PMP exam prep. However, I perused through the PM Box 7th edition. I glanced over PMI Agile Practice Guide and familiarized myself with PMI examination content outline, the version, I think that was a January 2021 version. I was so anxious to write the exam, so I continued using my recommended exam prep textbooks, completing the simulations and exercises and doing well in those questions and answers and the exams that I did. But that wasn't enough. Then I tried some more. When I felt I knew it, I went to write the exam and did not pass. Disappointed. I thought I did everything. I thought I learned something. But in retrospect, I wonder if I learned anything at all. Well, if I didn't learn anything at all, then what was it that I spent my time on all these months, working hard, doing everything that my boot camp facilitator recommended? Did I already know everything and simply forgot? If so, if I knew everything, I should have passed the exam the first time I did it, but I didn't. But I wasn't going to stop at that. So I was determined to get it right, so I embarked on a mission. I wanted to know what it took to pass the exam. I said it was an easy way that must be found. If there was one that existed, I must use that easy way to pass the exam just like others. My research showed me that if I follow these simple steps that I'm going to show you, I would pass the exam without a doubt. Was it not the ancient Greeks that once said, "Know thyself"? Understanding oneself, sort of an introspection, an inward look of yourself, to know whether you have the agile mindset or whether you reason like a project manager who has a mission to deliver value. Having this understanding is the key. You acquire this mindset naturally or by virtue of your prior experience in project management, whether it is agile or hybrid or waterfall. But I tell you what, you'll be unable to pass the exam without having this basic foundation. Very important. If you're like me, without the project management background or lacking in the agile experience to the degree that is needed, you need to find a way to pass the exam the easy way. The easy way worked for me after all my prior hard work failed me. If you follow the easy way, it will work for you as well. Trust me. I found out that those who took the exam and passed it the first time did something peculiar. And I figured they would be my first step in this great odyssey. So I hooked up with them and sought their advice. Here is what these wonderful people I call my PMP bearers. Here is what they told me. You ready? 1. Go online and watch project management videos. 2. Read the PMBOK 7th edition from cover to cover. 3. Read the PM Agile Practice Guide as well. 4. Read the PMI Process Group publication. 5. Understand the ECHO January 21st, January 2021, exactly, January 2021, or its latest version or edition. The 6th point was that you do not need any other materials. Just focus on these materials I mentioned above. If you focus on them alone, you'll be fine. So, having known this information, the heat was on. Information is power, so I followed the recommendation and tossed all the previous confusing attempts to study for the PMP examination. They didn't work, so I tossed them. You know what? As I was going through the hundreds of videos out there in the social media, in YouTube for example, I found a David McLachlan video and watched it. For a person like me without an agile background, David's 200 agile Q&A was the agile immersion needed to break down my rigid, logical, and prescriptive mindset. I literally lived on David's agile video until I became cultured in the agile way of thinking. I also used David's 150 PMBOK Q&A to complement my study of PMBOK Guide 7th edition. Although I read the PMBOK 7th edition the second time with David's video, this massive book was suddenly alive. Subsequently, I used David's video as a convenient tool as it allowed me to listen on the go, on the train, and wherever I was, as I went through the entire PM book with David without having to read it again myself. It was quite amazing. Since I have now cultivated the agile mindset, I was now mature, so to speak, mature enough in project management and agile methodologies to identify a good online practice examination offering. So in my research, I found PMI Study Hall, and I think I chose the one called Study Hall Plus because it had more questions to use. And for this study hall, I noticed that a subscription of I think it was $79 per quarter was probably worth the price and worth me taking a chance on. So I started to use the various study materials in the Study Hall Plus and found that the 4-hour simulated exams were clearly worded. They were unambiguous. When taking the exam, I literally imagined myself in the scenario of each question, kind of like role-playing, if you will. The more I did the simulation, questions, and other study aids, the more confident I became. Then I thought to myself, to my knowledge, PMI does not wish to fail anyone. Instead, their wish is for all project managers or project practitioners to be certified so they can be trained on value delivery for ultimate customer satisfaction. Makes sense. So I reasoned that based on this premise, the scenarios in the online practice exam could not differ very much in context from the actual PMP examination. Simple logic. So this understanding emboldened me. So I intensified the use of my study hall every single day, following my schedule that worked for me. Your schedule might work for you, I don't know, but you have to have a working schedule. So with every practice question, I became more confident and started using the scenarios in my day job even. Using PMI Study Hall was the ultimate blow to the monster that was PMP Exam Prep Resources. Victory at last. I used David's video during my commute to work, as I mentioned before. I used PMI Study Hall Plus at home according to my schedule. I also used these videos while I slept, while I showered even, or wherever and whenever I could. So I continued with the study hall and the video until the day before my exam, during which time I took a well-deserved break. So, in the first week of August 2024, I wrote and passed my PMP examination with appreciation of those that helped me in this saga. So in summary, my friends, to pass the exam the first time, listen, for you to pass it the first time, please avoid the mistakes that I made and do it the easy way that we've just gone through. Read the PM bug guide at least once. Read the the Agile Practice Guide. Read it. Read the PMI process group. Understand the exam content outline. You also should be consistent with your studies. Do not leave too much gap between studies, so you can maintain some kind of flow and rhythm. I recommend David McLaughlin's videos for an immersion if you do not already have the agile mindset. I also recommend that you subscribe to PMI Online Study Hall and use it. Find a study schedule that fits your lifestyle. You will pass the exam if you adhere to these tips. They worked for me and I believe they will for you. The difference is that you are now smarter than I was, because I did not know any better. But you do, and you should pass the exam the first time. If you find this presentation of value to you, please share, like, and subscribe to this channel. This will encourage me to continue to make similar videos and update you on my PMP journey. Please send your questions in the comment below, and I will endeavor to respond to you as soon as possible. Thank you all for stopping by, and good luck with your PMP exam prep.